What is up, guys? It's your boy Torius, back again with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about how to approach a girl, right? It's very simple. A very simple topic today, right? But I feel like it needs some more addressing. So, let's add some dressing. Call me Sally, because I've been dressed. Alright, so like the video, comment below what you think about it, subscribe if you know, let's get it. Alright, bet. So when you approach a girl, right? Say you see a fine ass girl, and you're like, damn, I would like to approach her, right? I would like to cold approach her. How should you do it, right? Like, how should you do it? I was literally just thinking about it before I made this video. So I was like, you know what, let me make a video about it. So I was like, let me make a video about it, right? So this is me making a video about it. Basically, when you're approaching a girl, you have to go up to her, right? You just have to be like, hey, what's up? You gotta just be like, hey, what's up, Nick? What's your name? Right? And the thing is, what I learned about approaching girls, right? Like, what I learned about talking to girls is that sometimes you just have to allow the awkwardness, right? Like, allow the awkwardness, right? Like, that's what I would always be afraid of. I would always just be afraid of the awkwardness, right? I'd just be afraid of like because I would always hate going up to a girl and it being awkward, right? Because you're nervous, and then she feels that nervous energy, right? Like, you feel that whole entire, like, that extreme nervousness. You're just like, fuck, I'm nervous as fuck, right? And what happens is, you know, she feels that, she does. But the way to neutralize that energy is it's just to feel it, right? Like, yeah, you're nervous, but if you feel it, right? Like, this is what happens to me, right? Like, I go up to a girl, and I'll be like, hi, what's your name, right? The thing is, if you notice a little pause, right? You say hi, and then you allow it, right? You say hi, and you just like allow that nervousness to just subside, right? Because it's there, right? That hi has energy to it, and the energy, you just let it neutralize so that come on, man, so that she can feel you, right? Because I noticed that sometimes I'll go up to a girl, right, and I'll just be like, hi, or I'll ask them a question. Most of the time when I go up to girls, I ask them about their tattoos, right? And I'll be like, oh, you know, where'd you get that tattoo from? Like, I'll just say that, right? And they'll sometimes they'll just look at me, right? They'll just sometimes, all right, well, sometimes they'll ignore me, right? And the thing is like, when they ignore you, you just gotta feel the awkward energy, right? Because there is awkward energy, and when you feel that and you just let it subside, then they kind of like pay attention to it. It's like kind of like a test, right? Like they give you that awkward, like, oh, I didn't hear what you said, right? Even though you know that they heard what they said. Even if they didn't hear what you said. Just still sit there with the awkwardness, right? It gets a little easier over time. Like, when you first start, it's hard. But then over time, as you do it over and over and over again, it gets a lot easier, right? So what happens is that, you know, you're speaking to her and you're just letting that awkward energy subside, right? You're just letting that awkward energy subside. You just go up to her, say, hi, all right? In my case, oh, where'd you get that tattoo from? She pauses, ignores you, or, you know, like, because the thing is, sometimes the girl would just blatantly just be in love with you, right? That happens a lot. That's when, you know, that's when it's easy. That's when it's, you know, all right. That's the thing, though. When a girl's like blatantly in love with you, one thing about it is that you sometimes end up doing word vomit, right? Because you're so nervous that you get kind of overwhelmed by how enthusiastic she is that you came up to talk to her, right? Like, the thing is, she's kind of excited that you talk to her. Like, I've gone up to girls a bunch of times, and then they just feel super excited to talk to me, right? They're like, oh my goodness, this guy's talking to me. So they're just like, oh yeah, and they just blurt their whole entire life history at me. And what happens is sometimes, like, I will feel that, right? And I will get a little overwhelmed, right? That's for me. And what happens is I would just like do the same thing, right? I would just like be like, oh yeah, and I would just like overshare, right? I would overshare myself, and it's like a way of her, like, her being overexcited is kind of like a test too, right? Because when she's overexcited, she's gonna basically get me off of my center, right? Because what I explain when I'm saying, like, oh, you know, you say hello, and then you take the pause, right? And you just absorb whatever energy is subside the energy that's there, and let it just pass so that she can feel comfortable, right? So she'll feel comfortable. You'll also feel comfortable. You'll feel comfortable because you're on your center, right? Because she's just like, why is this guy coming up to me, right? Like, you gotta imagine, like, is he coming up to me to sex traffic me? Is he coming up to stalk me? Is he coming up to you know, try to rape me or whatever, right? Like, she'll think a bunch of things. She don't know that you're trying to smash, like, politely, right? She thinks that you're just some dude. Like, there's dudes that look nice, but they're serial killers, right? So she don't know what your intentions are. So you gotta just kind of let her understand, like, let her get comfortable, basically. Like, if you guys, like, this is the biggest thing when you approach a girl. For me, I would always hate going up to girls in public, right? Because when you go up to a girl in public, what happens is that you get kind of self-conscious, like, oh my goodness, everyone's gonna look at me, right? Everyone's looking at you. Everyone's looking at you, and they're gonna judge you, and you don't want to be judged, right? And you're like, oh, I don't want them judging me. Like, oh, look at this guy. Who does he think he is going up to this girl, right? That's what I think, right? And what happens is that the judgment of other people is what stops you. But in my, like, the thing is like, that's like such a big thing, right? Because the thing is, like, no matter how many times you go up to a girl, like, I've gone up to so many girls, and in public, right? And in public, you know, like, that's why I'm thinking, oh damn, I'm in public, someone's gonna say something. But the thing is, when you're actually doing it, you don't give a fuck, right? Like, everyone in the public doesn't really even matter to you. And I've noticed that when I do talk to girls in public and stuff, I feel like I bring this kind of cock blocking energy, right? Like, I feel like that's why I would get so self-conscious, because they see me, like, going up to this pretty girl. Like, it's happened to me so many times. Like, there was one day, it was a couple days ago, and it actually happened to me twice in the same day, right? Like, I went up to this one girl in the grocery store, and I was just talking to her and getting her number or whatever, and then everyone was like, excuse me, everyone needed to be in that exact way, right? It's like, why once I start, like, before the whole aisle was clear, now why when I'm talking to this girl, everyone wants to be so rude and be like, excuse me, like, trying to cock block me, on God, bro. Like, they're trying to, like, it was so weird. And then later on in the day, I go up to this other girl, and I'm talking to her, and then people are doing the same shit, and I'm just like, bruh, like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, no one needed to come through here, but now that I'm talking to this girl, everyone needs to come through, right? Like, what the fuck? But I mean, when you're in the moment, you don't care, but, like, when you're out of the moment, you do care, because it's a little hard, right? Because you're just like, damn, everyone's gonna look at me and think, you know, and try to, I don't know, they just be on some weird shit, right? So you just gotta get past that, and you just gotta not give a fuck, right? You just gotta not care. Like, I feel like there might be a point in life when you just talk to girls, right? And you don't care. Because I used to see my dad talking to girls, and that nigga didn't give a fuck. Like, the nigga talking to them, right? So, like, you just gotta not care. Like, that's the biggest thing, is like, people looking at you and people judging you. Like, don't care about them. They like, at the end of the day, this is what I always tell myself, right? At the end of the day, if you don't go up to the girl, you're gonna be the one going to bed lonely, right? You're the one that's gonna be like, damn, you know, like, yeah, you're too cool to go up to the girl. Well, guess what? You're gonna be lonely as fuck, right? You're gonna be going to bed and wishing, damn, I wish I talked to those girls. I wish I made those moves, yada yada yada, woody woo, you know? Because you're gonna be going to bed lonely, and that sucks, right? So just go up to her, just talk to the girl. If you are scared, just be scared, right? She don't matter. Like, she's not the one anyways, right? If she allows you to be scared and is rude to you when you're scared, then fuck her, right? Just talk to her for practice. Just be like, all right, bitch, you practice. That's what I used to say when I used to go up to girls in school. I used to be like, all right, these girls are just practice, right? That's it. So like the video, comment below what you think about it. Subscribe if you're new. That being said, oh yeah, also, if you have any questions, I'll answer them in another video. DM me on Instagram at Torius, @6 for interviews. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.